Welcome to my podcast, Worlds Collide. I'm the host of this show, Victoria Daute, and I talk with my international guests here in the show about the experiences they made in their new country versus their home country. Hey, in this episode, I talked to Nate. He is originally from the suburbs of New Jersey in the US, but he left a decade ago, and his new home country is now Morocco. We talk about his first reaction to Morocco when he arrived as a student, how his life with a Moroccan family was, about his struggles with the Moroccan Arabic in the beginning, why he doesn't like the US anymore. We talk about Ramadan and also a lot of other things that I didn't know about this wonderful sounding country. Yes, listen in. Here it is. Hi, Nate. Welcome to the podcast. How are you doing?
Hi, Victoria. How are you? I'm doing well, thank you.
I'm good. Thank you. So you are in Morocco.
I am.
That is so untypical. Like the opposite couldn't be greater.
Yeah, it's definitely different. I'm from New Jersey in the USA, and it's very different from New Jersey.
For sure. And how long have you been in Morocco now?
So I first came to Morocco in 2009 as a study abroad student,
Okay.
and I moved here full time in, I guess, 2012. And I took 2 years off to live in China, and then came back to Morocco. And yeah, so total, I've been here for around 10
Wow,
years.
that's a long time. What was your first reaction when you first came to Morocco?
My first reaction, well, actually, my very first reaction, we landed in Casablanca. It was a study abroad program. It was my first time outside of North America.
Uh-huh. How old were you then?
19, maybe.
Okay, pretty
University
young.
student. Yeah, it was pretty wild for me. And I got off the plane, and we piled into the taxis to go from the airport to Rabat. And at the time, they had these old Mercedes sedan four door cars taxis. They've since upgraded to like these minivan kind of
Okay.
things, so they're much more comfortable. But they used to put four people in the back seat and two in the front.
Oh, wait. That's like two
Yeah,
people too many. On
yeah, very uncomfortable. And so we're driving, just crammed into the back of this taxi, driving to the capital, to Rabat, for an hour. And for some reason, there was a giant garbage fire. Like, I don't know why, but they just they just decided to burn trash for several kilometers down the side of the highway.
Oh, wait, it's such a big one.
Like, it was enormous. It was like several minutes of driving past this garbage fire.
So the smell must have been really nice too.
It was, yeah, it was a great welcome to the country. I saw that and I was like, this is where I'm gonna settle down.
How long were you supposed to stay then as a student?
That one, so I did an intensive language program here, and that was 4 weeks.
Then you learned Arabic?
Yeah, so I was studying Arabic in university, and
Mm-hmm.
so I came to do an intensive Arabic language program, and then the following year I did a normal 2 semesters abroad plus language programs. So
Okay.
it was a year.
And you came with a bunch of other people from all over the world? Were you also exposed to the locals?
Well, yeah, so I actually, the first time I was here, well, the first 2 times I was here as a student, well, the first 2 times I was here, I was a student and I was living with Moroccan families,
Oh, okay.
doing a homestay. And I made, Moroccan friends in the neighborhood. I was living in the old city. And the families that I lived with had, younger sons my age.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it was cool. Got to hang out with them. Got to, yeah.
And what is like a day in a Moroccan family like?
It depends. Depends on the family. I mean, it's pretty typical. Breakfast is a lot of carbohydrates and coffee and or tea.
Uh-huh.
Have you ever been to Morocco?
No, I've never. I mean,
No?
I only had friends visiting, and I only know like the touristy part, like people want to sell you rugs or lamps.
Yeah.
And then I heard that there are a lot of stray cats.
Yep, yep, that too. Yeah, sure.
And I think that's about what I know, really. I mean, I know where it is geographically.
Sure. Yeah, it's a beautiful country. Well, I asked because tea, the mint tea, is yeah. Every foreigner who visits Morocco learns about the mint tea and most
I
like
mean,
it.
you can even buy it here at Trader Joe's.
Well, so you can't. Yeah, it's not the same.
A version of it, of course. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and I'll tell you really what it is. It's just Chinese green tea,
Ah,
and you boil that, and then you add just a handful of mint into the pot and boil that, and then you add sugar.
yeah, lots of sugar, right? It's very sweet, is it?
Lots of sugar. Very
Very
sweet.
sweet. But
Yep. But those like pre-mixed like tea bags with like that, it's like mint tea. That's not what you want to do. You want to just
no, you have to have fresh mint,
fresh mint
right?
and just boil it in with the tea. Yeah.
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
delicious,
Yeah, it's
yes.
great. So yeah, so breakfast and then go to work, go to school. Yeah, pretty typical. Home by, 5 or 6. Yeah, then hang out with the family. Dinners are late.
Mm-hmm.
Was a little bit, difficult to get used to that.
What is late? What do you mean?
Dinner time at 9, 10 p.m.
10 p.m.
Yeah,
Yes, that is late. In comparison here, we have it at 6:30,
yeah, yeah, exactly.
or 7.
Yeah.
But
I mean, 7 in New Jersey for my family, 7 was a late dinner. Like 5 was dinner time. And yeah.
oh, at 5? Okay. Yeah, that is early. Because, like, when I would eat at 5, I would be hungry again by bedtime.
Yeah, yeah. See, and I actually prefer that because I don't like to be full when I go to bed. I don't sleep well.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure.
But here they'll have tea at around 5. If you when you come home from school or come home from work, maybe you'll make tea and like some cookies or some bread, more
Yeah.
carbohydrates, and then wait until your dinner at 9 or 10 p.m.
Okay. Yeah, sure. I think a lot of countries around the world do the dinner really late.
Yeah, yeah, I'd actually be interested to know how universal that is because I think that's a thing in the Mediterranean at least, right? Like in Spain.
Yeah, in
Yeah,
Spain too, and in Turkey
yeah.
too. Yes, I know from those two countries that it's pretty late. And we in Germany, I would say 6 is probably early, but usually around 7 you have dinner.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, that's interesting. Yeah. I don't love it. I like to eat earlier, but what can you do?
Okay, so you always have to like wait and you're hungry already before it's served.
Uh, yeah, yeah, I mean at that time, yeah. Now I do it.
Do you live by yourself now?
Well, I'm married, so my wife and
Hmm.
I. My wife is Moroccan,
Okay.
and she doesn't mind eating a little bit on the earlier side.
Hmm.
So we'll usually try to have dinner around 7 or 8.
So is Morocco in the bigger cities pretty modern, or is it very conservative?
So yeah, there's a couple of ways to answer that question. So as far as modern goes, so it depends. So are we talking in terms of development, in terms of like social norms, for
I
example?
mean, like more, it's a Muslim country, so I was
Yeah.
wondering if it's very based on that.
Yeah, I mean, not really, right? So kind of. So people here are very personally conservative,
Hmm.
but they're very kind of socially liberal
Okay.
in the way that like in the meaning of liberal where it's like you do your thing, you live and let live, right? You do your thing and you let other people do their
Yes,
thing.
how it should be.
Right.
Yeah.
So like I have tattoos on my arms. Nobody's ever said something to me about tattoos except one time when I was on the street and like a 90-year-old, I mean, she probably wasn't 90, but an 80-year-old, probably at least, Amazigh woman, the Berber woman, came up to me and, pointed at my tattoos and gave me a thumbs up and rolled up her sleeves and showed me her tattoos.
Oh, I did not expect that. I thought like you're gonna get stupid comment.
No, because in the indigenous population here are
Mm-hmm.
the Berbers, right? The Amazigh people, and they traditionally do tattoos.
Oh, okay, very cool.
And so among the older generation, you can still see face tattoos. That tradition is dying out a little bit.
I see. Yeah, I did not know that either. Very cool.
So, I mean, people just have this attitude of like, you live your life, and as long as you're not hurting me or, doing something bad to me, it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Most people like don't drink alcohol, for example, but
Yep.
as long as you're not being a drunken nuisance in public, nobody really cares if you drink alcohol.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And how long did it take you to be comfortable with the language?
So the first time I came to Morocco, I was studying classical Arabic. Standard Arabic is really what it's called, modern Standard Arabic, and that's the standardized version used across North Africa and the Middle East. But it's not anybody's native language.
Mm-hmm.
People speak dialects as native languages, and depending on where you are, it can be a completely different dialect. And so Moroccan Arabic has no relation to modern standard Arabic.
Okay.
I mean, maybe not none, but like they are not mutually intelligible. Like
Very little.
very little. So my first several months in Morocco was trying to speak to people in standard Arabic and not understanding a word of response that I got.
And they didn't understand you either, probably.
If they had education, they did,
Uh-huh.
but not all of them did have education. And so, if I get into a taxi, like there's no guarantee that the taxi driver is even really going to know what I'm saying. But even if they did understand me, I just sounded silly. It's like
And what did you do then?
I learned the Moroccan dialect,
Okay.
because there's just no, that's just what you have to do. And this was before a lot of people spoke English.
Okay.
So French is the language of the colonizers, right? Everybody speaks French. It's a francophonic country.
I just read that in the bigger cities you come pretty far with English.
Yeah, in recent years, people have started learning English a lot more, and it's noticeable. Even from 2009 to now, it's noticeable how many more people speak at least some English. 10 years ago, I would have told you, if you don't know French at least or Arabic, you're going to have a difficult time in Morocco. Now you can get by on just English.
Okay.
So yeah, it was awkward, and people would look at me like I was, walking around speaking like Shakespeare. It was very,
That's a good
yeah. It
comparison.
was. I looked super super weird.
You're like the king from
Yeah, just like speaking in a super like I mean
very formal.
very formal, exactly.
Uh-huh.
And people are like,
Yeah. And how long did it take you to learn the accent then?
I would say my second time when I did semesters abroad here, I started living with a Moroccan family, speaking like knowing no Moroccan Darija, and by the time I left a year later, I was pretty fluent. So I would say about a year. I mean, I'm still learning.
Okay, that is pretty fast, I would say.
I'm still learning. Obviously, like you never get perfect, but
Yeah. And what was your interest about Arabic in the first place?
I'm actually kind of bad at learning languages, and I was terrible with Spanish in high school. And when I got to university, they said you have to learn a language. You have to study a language for at least I think it was 4 semesters, maybe. And so I was like, okay, well, I don't want to do Spanish again. French, I'm not really interested. I was like, all right, Arabic, it's there. Why not?
Then that was it. And then you kind of liked it.
Yeah.
And then that's how you ended up in Morocco.
Yeah, it was a random decision that totally changed my life. I could have picked Chinese, I could have picked Russian, I could have picked, Latin or Greek. I mean, but
That is so unexpected.
yeah,
Yeah, so I thought first maybe you have a parent that is from Morocco or some
nope.
family.
It was just a completely random, just, what am I going to study? I was studying politics. I studied political science. So I thought maybe, learn Arabic and maybe work in, international politics or something. And
Do you do that?
no, I don't, because
Yeah.
politics is a soulless endeavor, which just saps happiness from people. I got 3 years into a 4-year political science degree and realized I don't ever want to work in politics. So,
Uh, is there anything American in Morocco? Like, do you have, for example, like the food chains there?
yeah, McDonald's.
Of course. Starbucks?
Starbucks is, yeah, it's in the last few years, Starbucks has started to pop up. There's at least one Burger King that I know of. Still waiting on Taco
Oh.
Bell. There's a knockoff of Subway called Sandway, which is not comparable, but I mean, it is actually this way in a lot of the world, but in Morocco, McDonald's, also KFC are very kind of like upper class, kind of like prestigious almost. Like if you're like a young bougie kid and you want to like take a girl out on a date and impress her, take her to McDonald's. That's a slam dunk. Like in America, you would die alone.
It's like, no.
Yeah.
Like, I hate it when my kids want to go to McDonald's. Ah, it's like, oh, really? Do you want to eat the worst food ever?
Yeah, it's garbage food in
Yeah.
America.
And is it though? Does it taste different in Morocco?
Yeah, I mean it's different. It's different I think in every country, but in Morocco, I mean I haven't eaten McDonald's in many countries, but in Morocco it's much better, I think. It tastes just cleaner.
Oh, interesting.
But yeah, it's like an upper middle class status meal.
And how do people react to you when they learn that you're from America?
So people here are super friendly, and Morocco was the first country to recognize the U.S. as an independent country.
Mm, okay.
The Moroccan American Friendship Treaty is America's oldest diplomatic treaty.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so and every Moroccan knows that, and they are very happy to point that out to me when I meet them for the first time. They're very happy with their relationship with America. Morocco has a really good relationship with America.
And they always like to point it out.
Yeah, they love. I mean, that specific factoid is like one of the things that people always tell you here. And the U.S. and Morocco have a really long and friendly relationship. I mean, people here don't love the American government all that much, but neither do I, so
Yeah.
it's fine. But they like American people, and actually, Americans have a good reputation personally in Morocco, right? Like Morocco's economy is based on tourism, and American tourists are kind of seen as among the best tourists, I think.
Ah, why is that?
So in Europe, there are very kind of like rigid like social classes. There's like a rigid social class structure,
Mm-hmm.
right? So if you're like upper class, you're upper class and you know it. Whereas I think in America, people are more willing to like, if you're like a rich guy, you're still polite to the waiter at the restaurant, right? Or
Oh, that's what you mean.
if you're like super high class or super high status, you're still supposed to be polite to the service staff wherever you are.
Okay, okay.
Right. And so I've talked to a lot of like people at hotels and like servers and taxi drivers who say like, Europeans, no offense, but Europeans can be a little bit rude sometimes. They kind of like look down on us, like we're just, service, but like Americans are much more friendly and gregarious.
Oh, I thought maybe it has to do also with the tipping culture.
That might also be part of it.
No, Europeans don't tip and Americans tip really well.
That might also be part of it. Yeah, sure.
And sure, I think at least I can say for Germans, they always come along very friendly. We don't say a lot of please and thank you.
Yeah.
Versus Americans always sorry, 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 thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
Like all the time. Yeah.
Exactly. Like it's like to the point where it gets uncomfortable. Like when my dad visits Morocco, he'll just be like, the waiter at the cafe speaks a little English, and he's just like chatting him up, and it's like that. He has a job to do. Let this guy do his job. Like he's from here.
Yeah.
You don't need to ask him.
So is your dad, was he then surprised that like people talk English?
Yeah, a little bit. So my dad likes to travel, so he's come to Morocco like a bunch of times. In fact, he came to Morocco back in back in the 70s, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, when he came back a few years ago after COVID, actually was the first time he was in Morocco since the early 2000 teens or so. Right, and he was surprised at how much people are speaking English, how much this country has developed just in the last, 5 or 10 years.
Okay.
We rode on the train from Tangier to Casablanca, the new high-speed train, and it's nicer than any train in America. It's
Yeah.
350 kilometers an hour. It's beautiful. It's quiet, and he was surprised to see that.
I mean, I wish there would be trains here or any public transportation. How is it there? Do you have public transportation?
So the tram, there's a tram in Rabat and Casablanca, which is, it's all right, it's nice, it's fine. I mean, public transportation isn't great. We just got new buses, which are very nice and comfortable, but the rail network is pretty good and getting better. I mean, this high-speed train is great. And I was gonna say, you coming from Europe, right? Like, Europe does high-speed trains, and
Yeah.
I wonder if you notice the difference in America, like just the lack of high-speed rail.
The lack of rail in general.
Yeah,
I mean, there are freight trains. Just to get like from one city to the other, it is inconvenient and too expensive, and the schedule doesn't. I don't know. I think there needs a lot to be done for it to be more attractive that people want to use it.
yeah, absolutely. Especially in some places in the U.S. Where like I'm thinking of like the Northeast where I'm from. It's like you could have, an efficient high-speed rail system that would connect these huge cities, New
Yeah.
York and Philadelphia and Washington, but also with their smaller, kind of suburban areas, but you don't have them. And so what are your options if you want to get from suburban New Jersey into New York City? It's like pay $40 and ride on New Jersey Transit or drive.
Yes, exactly. No, you're so dependent on your car here, especially in suburbia.
Exactly. Or you're going to fly from, New York to Washington, and then it's just a whole other level of headaches.
That is even not far. With a car, it would be what, a 3.5 hour drive or something?
Yeah,
And so there should be like other ways than
exactly.
flying for a short distance like that.
Exactly. And, good rail and especially high-speed rail it's so nice.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like a very frustrating topic here in our house.
Okay.
Public transportation in general. Yeah.
And actually that's something I've noticed when I talk to Americans because, people in America, like you don't know what you're missing until you experience it and then go back and don't have. So like Americans, like they don't get the joy of public transit.
Yeah.
And I've lived in places where there is good public transit, and like good public transit is so nice.
So I'm in the Austin area, and they're building.
Okay.
Yeah, they're building like a streetcar, but it's not running on weekends. Like if people want to go to the city to whatever, go to a restaurant or drink or party, you still need your car. It's stupid.
Yeah,
It's a positive on so many other levels. They don't put a schedule on for the weekends. It's only for the workforce, kind of.
right. That's really frustrating. When I was living in China, I mean, they have more high-speed rail than the rest of the world combined, and so it was great because it was like, the trains run 350 kilometers an hour, which basically means you can get halfway
Yep.
across the country in 3 hours. Um, but our rule was if the train was less than 6 hours, take the train. If it's more than 6 hours, fly.
But it's a long distance when they're so fast.
It's such a long distance. I only had to fly once in China, and that was literally going to the other side of the
Yeah.
country. But just like dealing with airports and security and baggage and all that, just take the train. And in the US, there's just not that option.
I took the train in Germany 2 years ago. I was going from my hometown to Berlin, and I was by myself with two little kids and lots of baggage. So I had like no free hands, and I was like freaking out about it. But people are so nice and helpful. Like it was no problem. And then you can sit in the family compartments, and you're just like surrounded with other families, and people come by and they bring you drinks. It's like service like you have in a plane, and it was so comfortable. It's like way better than driving.
It's so nice. It's so nice. I could talk about this for hours. I hate driving culture. I love public transportation, and the U.S. really needs to figure
Yeah.
something out with a modern rail system. And it's embarrassing again, right? Like when my dad got onto the train in Morocco, the high speed train, and it was nicer and faster and than any train in America. It's like it really kind of puts into perspective how the U.S. is has a lot of work to do in some areas.
So now you're there for 10 years. Do you still sometimes struggle with the cultural differences?
Occasionally, there's not much.
You seem like a really chill guy, so it doesn't, on my first impression, it doesn't seem that you get frustrated in public or like freak out about those things.
Yeah, I'm pretty good at going with the flow. I'm not, yeah, and I've seen most of it, right? Like when it comes to just like cultural differences, I've encountered most of it at this point. Some things do frustrate me, but it's not that I like don't know about them or haven't encountered them before. It's just I just can't I refuse to get used to it. One of them is that so in Morocco you never say no to your parents. So if my wife's parents call us at 8:30 in the morning on a Sunday morning and say, "Hey, we're coming now," you say, "Okay, welcome," Whereas like,
Uh-huh.
but like in the U.S., right? Like, yeah, yeah, it's like Sunday morning, stay in bed, just relax all day. But like, I mean, but like in the U.S., right? Like, you call ahead, "Hey, Dad, like, I'd like to see you this weekend. When are you free? When's good for you?
Yeah.
How's Sunday morning?" "Nah, that's not
You
good."
make plans really far ahead, yes.
Exactly, exactly. But here it's just like, "Hey, we're coming.
Be ready right now.
Be ready." It's like, okay, cool, great. So that's one that I don't love. That's about it. Not queuing.
Oh, so
Um,
how do they just whoever gets first? Whoever wins the battle?
Chaos. Yeah, whoever wins the battle, it's chaos. It's yeah. I don't love that one. I think people are starting to queue up more now in recent years, but yeah, it's still
And we talked about public transportation, so what about driving? Do they follow the rules?
new rules. What rules? Um, No, actually, I was here back in I think it was 2010 or 2011. They tightened up the traffic rules and they like increased penalties for traffic violations. Pre 2010 or so, it was pandemonium. Like red lights meant nothing.
Okay.
You just like go through. Since then, things have gotten better. I mean, some people still just like, old habits die hard.
Sure, yeah.
Now, almost 15 years on, people are kind of, much more ordered when driving.
How did they make a change?
They increased penalties, and they
Oh, okay, sure. With money,
yeah,
yes.
because they
Uh-huh.
had the infrastructure, they had the signals, the lights, the signs and everything, but you just didn't pay attention to them. And then they just said like, hey, this is unsustainable. The penalty is now higher, and we will pull you over and write you a ticket. And they did it, and people, they enforced compliance.
Okay.
So
And how often do you visit home?
not very often. Um, I don't really like being in America, and
Okay.
uh, I have a family that likes to travel, and my dad is fairly wealthy. So, fortunately, traveling for him is not a big financial burden. So,
Mm-hmm.
my family would rather hang out in Morocco or meet up in Europe somewhere than,
Okay, then you have to visit
yeah,
them.
exactly.
And whenever you go, do you struggle then with the culture, with the American culture, because you're adjusted to the other?
Yeah, reverse culture shock hits me hard. The two examples from my most recent time back in the U.S. that just really hit me. One is just like the kind of like rampant, unbridled consumerism, right? Like you walk into like the local large supermarket, and there's 1,000 choices for peanut butter,
Yeah.
and it's just overwhelming. And I actually, a friend of mine in Morocco wanted me to bring back a bottle of barbecue sauce, and it took me like 20 minutes. It was like of just like staring at the rack of barbecue sauce, like I don't even know what to do with this.
Yeah.
And that is a little overwhelming for me.
I prefer also going to the smaller stores where you don't have all these choices.
Exactly. And like here, things are becoming more available, so you can get barbecue sauce, but there's like two or three different options, and it's nice. It's like, okay, this one is good, this one not so much. Cool, I'm going to buy this one. It's simple, it's nice. And then the other thing that really messes me up is so my Arabic is good, but if I'm going to like eavesdrop on conversations happening around me, I have to concentrate. I have to focus. Like
Mm-hmm.
if I'm standing in line at the supermarket and I'm not paying attention, I just hear white noise. I don't get the conversation around me unless I like try.
Yeah.
In the US, right, as a native English speaker, it's just I can't turn it off. Everything, I understand everything. And I understand conversations happening on the other side of the store that I don't even want to. And it's like it's overload.
So you don't want all this
I
information.
want it to be quiet again. Like I want to like put in noise canceling headphones and just not hear what people are saying.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is, I don't know if you've experienced this in your time living abroad, is like people don't care like about your interesting experiences,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, I know they always pretend, but really they don't want to know about
Yeah.
it.
Oh, how was your 2 years in China? Oh, it was super interesting. Great, cool. Okay,
Yeah.
let's
Mm-hmm.
move on.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know.
For sure. Uh-huh.
And yeah, and then especially with like friends, when like you want to tell them because you want them to be part of your life, but they don't really want to hear about it because they don't like have anything to compare it to.
Yeah.
I mean, China is just like, again, like China is just like a super interesting country, and I had loads of really interesting experiences there, and try to tell my friends about it in the US, and they just don't, or they're not interested. So
That's so sad, kind of, right?
it kind of is, but my country is, my home country is Morocco, and so when I go back to the US, for me, it's visiting. It's an annoying vacation I have to go on every few years to make my cousins happy, right?
Okay. How long did it take you until you called Morocco your home?
Maybe a year or two.
Oh, so that was pretty
It
quick.
was pretty quick. I never really felt like comfortable in America, I think, and I don't know why that is, and I still don't. I've never known why, but I got accustomed to Morocco pretty quickly, and yeah, I mean, it's a weird country, but I like it.
Good. Good. It's always good to like where you
Oh,
are.
yeah.
How do you adjust to the weather? I imagine it's super hot in Morocco.
In the interior, yeah. I
Mm-hmm.
live in Rabat, which is on the coast, so we pretty consistently have a nice breeze from the ocean. But yeah, like Fez and Marrakesh in the summer can get oppressively hot. But at least in like Marrakesh, it's dry. I know in a lot of places in the U.S., it's a very damp, very wet heat.
Not nice. I hate that.
No, I guess Texas is probably pretty dry though, right?
No, it's so humid. Oh my God. It's
Okay.
like you're sweating
Yeah.
all the time. You step
Yeah.
outside and you're wet.
Immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep. It's getting flashbacks to summers in New
Yeah.
Jersey.
Houston is worse than Austin, but to me, this is already like not
Yeah.
likable.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, what do you really miss?
Not much. Friends and family, but other than that, not much. There was a time when I missed like being able to like, I don't know, eat food from around the world.
Okay, so you only have more like local food?
No, but not even like in the last 5 or 6 years, international options have been popping up. I can get Chinese food, really good Chinese food, actually. Sushi, and there's a really great Indian restaurant not far from where I live. Thai and Spanish and Mexican, and yeah, I mean, just there's so many more options now than in the past. I mean,
Yeah.
not as many as in America, but there was a time when if I was like craving a burrito, I would have to like make it myself. And now there's like 3 or 4 different places I can get like a burrito. So honestly, since that has been improving, there's really not much I miss about America at all, to be honest.
So there's no reason for you to go back.
No reason, literally no reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then that means you must really like it.
Yeah, yeah, it's a great place to be.
Do you usually hang out with the Moroccan crowd or do you have some American friends?
I have a mix. Like I told you, my wife is Moroccan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
My best Moroccan friend, my best friend in Morocco is Moroccan, although
Uh-huh.
actually he now lives in Germany. So
Oh, funny.
yeah, but no, I mean, I don't have a lot of American friends actually. Most of my foreign friends are Brits. There's a lot of Brits here. And that's one of the things I love about living abroad is just having friends from around the world.
That's true.
You know,
We have that too. Like our friends circle is very international.
yeah. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I mean, a mix of Moroccan and foreign friends. The non-Moroccans, right? There's a little bit more of, I think, a sense of camaraderie, just because like we're all like foreigners in this country, and so we all kind of look out for each other a little bit more.
And you always have something in common, right? You already know like there's already a connection somehow.
Exactly, right? Like on whatever holiday, Thanksgiving or Christmas or whatever, and your entire family is together back in your home, and you are here. So let's hang out and
Let's all get together.
exactly.
Yeah. Did you have to adjust for Ramadan?
Yeah, well, it's right now actually.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, so Ramadan is well, it's getting easier because of the lunar calendar. It's not the same time every year, right? So it's
Mm-hmm.
it's getting
Yeah.
earlier in the year by like 2 weeks. So my first few Ramadans in Morocco was like in the summer, and so long days and hot and no food or water, and it was very difficult. Now the days are shorter and cooler. It's actually cold today,
It's not so hard.
not nearly as hot.
Do you follow it too?
Yes, I do. I do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When did you start adapting to that?
Well, I started fasting like fully maybe 5 years ago. But
Hmm.
really, I mean, if you're living in Morocco full time, you're going to be fasting during Ramadan to some extent. Right, like unless you're a complete jerk, you're not going to be eating and drinking in front of Moroccans. And unless you're unemployed, you're not going to be sitting at home during Ramadan. So like, even for people who are not fasting during Ramadan, like they leave their house in the morning and don't eat or drink all day, and it's so, to an extent, every foreigner kind of adapts to Ramadan a little bit.
Did it help you to be married to a Moroccan woman in terms of the Ramadan?
Well, yeah, I mean that's nice because she's a really good cook,
No, okay.
and she's really good at cooking Moroccan food, and
Yeah, you make really nice feasts, right? When you eat really nice.
oh, they're nice.
Yeah.
So Moroccan food is delicious. My wife is a really good cook, and we take turns depending on we're both now working full time,
Mm-hmm.
so we kind of switch on and off. Some days she'll cook and I'll do the dishes, and then some days I'll cook and she'll do the dishes.
Mm-hmm.
But I always like when it's her turn to cook because I really like. I mean, I love Moroccan food, especially during Ramadan. There's a lot of like special foods that you don't really make throughout the year, and yeah, it's
Yeah.
really nice.
Do women have to dress up differently in Morocco, though?
No, no, and actually, my father's wife had this question when she first came to Morocco about a year ago. What's the dress code? And I told her, suburban New Jersey middle-aged, white woman is pretty much conservative dress in Morocco. I mean, that's conservative, like especially in like the bigger cities like Rabat and Casablanca. I mean, in like more conservative cities and more conservative neighborhoods, it might be a little bit different. But yeah, I mean, half of the people don't wear a headscarf anyway.
Okay.
Skirts and short shorts and yoga pants, and the new trend is crop tops. Uh,
Oh, here too.
yeah,
Here too. Sounds very Western.
very Western, and honestly, probably less conservative than a lot of places in
Yeah.
America. Yeah, yeah, or I mean even the suburbs.
Yeah, the suburbs,
Right? Like
yes.
I've had students show up in classes wearing outfits that like if they walked into like my public school in America, they would get a reputation.
Uh-huh.
And it's like there is that idea about Morocco, and it's just not that way. I mean, wear whatever you want.
Yeah, that's what I assume too. And though if you have to go to like a religious place, you would need to dress up differently though. But
Yeah, if you like go into a mosque, you're
yeah,
expected
yeah,
to.
yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, that's
Yeah, sure.
pretty much the only one I think. Let me give you one anecdote. A few years ago, during the Trump administration, so it was pre-COVID, maybe 2000, I don't know, 17 or 18, and I'm in the port in Tangier, about to take a boat over to Spain for a few days, and I'm exchanging money in the port, and there's two police officers there listening to the radio. I had my passport out because you need to show your passport to exchange money, right? And so in the radio, who should start speaking but Donald Trump comes on. And the two police officers look over at me, and I look over at them, and we lock eyes for about half a beat, and then we all just burst into laughter, just uproarious
Uh-huh.
laughter at how crazy it is that this man is president.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there laughing with two Moroccan police officers.
Yeah, that sums it up. Thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, yeah, no worries. Nice to talk to
Yeah, it was
you.
really nice to talk to you. Cool.
Gonna start preparing our ftor, our end of fast meal. So.
Okay, you enjoy that very much. I think Nate gave us a pretty good insight of his life in Rabat. He and his wife talk a mix of Arabic and English at home. It's about a 50-50 mix, he said. And by the way, Nate is working as a teacher in Rabat. And another cool fact that I found out is Morocco was the first country on the African continent that built a high-speed railway. And in case you missed it, I will put the recipe for the Moroccan mint tea on our Instagram page. This is where you can also reach out to me in case you want to be a guest on this show, or if you know somebody who wants to be a guest on this show. Or you can also reach out to me via email at worldscollide123pod@gmail.com. I'm looking forward to your mail, and I'm looking forward to host the next episode of Worlds Collide next week. See you then!